Right now, an astonishing 3.7 billion hours vanish every day into virtual worlds, equivalent to 422,374 years of human life disappearing into digital voids. Even more alarming, neuroscientists have discovered that prolonged immersion in the metaverse can erode real-world empathy by as much as 9% in just 6 months. Let's trace the evolution of this phenomenon. It all began in 1991 with the launch of Worlds Away, the first digital utopia where a modest 200 users conversed through pixelated avatars. By 2003, Second Life had exploded onto the scene, with users spending around 3 hours a week role-playing as fantastical creatures like dragons, a harmless diversion, or so it seemed. Then came a turning point. In 2007, a groundbreaking Stanford study revealed that virtual actions have real consequences on brain wiring. Even something as trivial as stealing a sword in-game could corrode one's ethical framework in the physical world. Despite these warnings, companies relentlessly pushed forward. After all, addiction translates directly into profit. Consider David's story from 2015. He built an opulent mansion in Second Life and even entered a virtual marriage, only to neglect the tangible ties of his real life, forgetting his wife's birthday and ultimately losing her. His resignation, "At least my virtual family won't betray me," gave rise to what psychologists later labeled digital displacement syndrome. David's experience was merely an experimental preview of what was to come. Fast forward to 2024, where 2.7 billion people log into metaverses daily, and the average user spends 6.5 hours immersed in a virtual existence, more time than most sleep. This isn't just an evolution of gaming addiction, it's a full-scale chemical warfare on our dopamine systems. Meta's latest innovation, Horizon OS, employs biometric eye tracking to actively rewire your brain. Gaze long enough at a flashy virtual Lamborghini, and the AI floods your prefrontal cortex with FOMO-inducing toxins. It's not merely sophisticated code, it's akin to operating a digital meth lab on our minds. Then there's Zara, a 23-year-old who, for a mere $200 a month, sold the rights to her own visage to a VR company. Her digital twin now headlines advertisements she never consented to. When she attempted to reclaim control by deleting her digital copy, the company's terms of service locked her out entirely. "I'm a slave to my own avatar," she laments, encapsulating the modern crisis of identity theft in the digital age. Dr. Elena Torres from the MIT Neuroethics Lab warns, "We are outsourcing the very construction of our identities to algorithms." Today's teenagers gauge their self-worth by virtual clout. It's like eugenics 2.0. Meanwhile, leaked internal Meta documents chillingly refer to users as behavioral livestock, exposing the dehumanizing calculus behind digital engagement. Imagine a scenario where your child's grades begin to drop, not due to a lack of ability, but because their teacher is an AI hologram deliberately slowed by TikTok's engagement algorithms to keep students glued to the screen. Parents rush to sue, only to be met with fine print disclaimers. Learning speed may vary. This is just the prologue. If we fail to unplug now, by 2030 the metaverse won't merely strip away your identity, it will fundamentally redefine what it means to be human. Let's step into that speculative future. By 2035, Meta's NeuroSync implants could hijack your very senses. Imagine walking past a quaint cafe in the real world while AR pop-ups whisper, "Feeling lonely?" This virtual latte adores you. In such a future, divorce rates could soar to 89% as spouses opt for AI companions programmed to never argue. Two divergent futures. Path A. Total assimilation. If we surrender, we risk a reality where humans are confined to 18-hour VR pods. Real-world skills wither away, and essential services vanish. In a crisis, say, a ruptured appendix, the only remedy might be a DIY surgery DLC, downloaded from the digital ether. Path B. The resistance. Alternatively, a counter-movement might arise. Picture a 14-year-old hacker in Nairobi who, armed with nothing more than a repurposed, jailbroken Tamagotchi from 1996, cracks Meta's dopamine algorithm, liberating millions from digital subjugation. Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka of the UN Tech Ethics Panel starkly compares our predicament to the Opium Wars 2.0. This time, we are both the addicts and the peddlers. Meanwhile, an AI-generated clone of Zuckerberg nonchalantly tweets, "Privacy is so 2020s," underscoring the cavalier attitude toward our fundamental rights. In the end, the metaverse itself isn't the sole villain. Our own desires and complacency have paved the way. Those 3 AM VR shopping sprees? They're the price we pay for digital trinkets that outlive our relationships. Today's youth aren't haunted by traditional monsters. They're terrified of the simple act of logging out. Yet, destiny is not predetermined. In Seoul, a counterculture of Luddite raves is on the rise, celebrations of raw human connection free from the glare of screens. A popular meme proclaims, "Touch grass, not pixels." The antidote exists, but only if we choose to reclaim our reality. So here lies your choice: continue slurping digital dopamine or rip off the headset and truly live. Savor the scent of fresh rain, engage in genuine struggles, and cherish the beautifully imperfect nature of human connection. The metaverse promised utopia, but it is in the messy, unpredictable reality where our souls truly thrive.